Hello, I'm Kiki Archer and this is a video interview for the girls at the UK Lesfic blog. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, I've just come back from the school run, the questions are hot off the press. I've glanced at them, I have prepared one answer, I've looked at the last question and I have one bit of preparation done. But apart from that, we are trying to do it so they are putting me on the spot. I don't just have questions, I have a script. It's an actual script that I have to read and it says in bold that I have to answer all of them with a smiley face. So here goes. First off, an easy one. Kate says, love, love, love your books. How seriously do you take your writing? Is it a full-time job or just a hobby? I'm a mummy, I'm a full-time mummy. That's my job. That's what I view as my job. So writing is my hobby because I only get to do it in my spare time and I don't have much spare time having a 4 and 5-year-old. I didn't take my first book seriously at all because I wrote But She's My Student for myself, for nobody else. They say write about what you know. My children had started to sleep miraculously at night and I thought I'd have a go at writing a novel. They do say write what you know, so I know about being a lesbian and being a teacher, and so I put them together in the most obvious book ever. And then I read an article about being an indie author, and so I published the book, and we were skiing last March. And I was like, it's climbing the charts, it's climbing the charts. Oh my goodness, people are reading it, people are actually reading it. So yes, if you were an early reader, just go to manage your Kindle and switch on that button that lets you upload for free, then download for free the latest version of the book, and you'll get the jazzed up second edition. But no, I'm taking it a lot more seriously now, and I think come September, when both of my children are in school full time, I will view this as a job. 9 till 3, and I'll be the Barbara Cartland of lesbian fiction, getting those books out. Lisa and Jade ask what UK Lesfic thinks everyone wants to know. Will you be writing more Cat and Freya, and if not, why not? I'm not sure. I have lots of ideas at the moment for stories. I'm quite happy. They're happy. They're at Coalfield Comp having a great old time. Maybe, never say never, but not in the immediate future. On a similar theme, Lindsay wants to know, people always ask if you're a cat in your books, but is there any chance you're actually the student like Freya with a teacher crush? I like that question. I always get asked if I'm cat, and it's really embarrassing because people think I've written this book about myself being this wonderful person, but it's not at all. Kat's the perfect woman. She's the perfect friend, the perfect teacher, the perfect lover. I'm not perfect in any way whatsoever. Maybe she's the person I would love to be. But yeah, no, I probably am more like Freya. Slightly fiery sometimes, mischievous, no, I don't know. Teacher crush, no. Boring, real life boring, sorry. Question from Ruth, this is a serious question. Have you ever thought of going back into schools to do talks or workshops with the harrowing facts that 55% of gay young people suffer homophobic bullying, and then some facts about self-harm and attempted suicide? You could be a very positive role model. In my bookbinding devotion, I talked about a lady called Saran Dixon, who's an ex-PE teacher who has set up the Diversity Role Models charity, and they go into schools to combat homophobic bullying, and they're doing a wonderful job. A lot of schools are combating this now, and times are changing and things are getting better, but people will always be mean. Children will be mean, adults will be mean, don't like meanness. But I think, yeah, things are getting a lot better, and if they're not, talk to somebody. There's always someone to talk to. Another great question from Ruth is, would you ever go straight, as in the book sense obviously, or do you think you will be writing all things lesbian always? I wouldn't try and write a straight book. I'd be absolutely dreadful. Not a straight book, I mean like a normal book. Well, not a normal book, just not lesbian fiction. No, I'm sticking with this. It's great writing about women. Possibly starting to get a bit more cheeky from Carmen. Do you add any of your personal experiences, whether personal or intimate, in your books? Yes, of course. You do. You draw on experiences, and you draw on people around you. And I'm a really big people watcher. And but it's fiction. My life is nowhere near as exciting as what happens in the books. Again, a little bit more cheeky comes from Anonymous. Which of the characters you've written about would you be most likely to have an affair with, and why? Lucy, probably. Lucy, because she's so much fun. She's fun, and she doesn't take herself too seriously, and she'd always make me laugh, and she's quite fit, and she's tall. But she's straight, actually, isn't she? I would try, I guess. Before you answer that, you might want to consider Ruth's question 2. Lots of questions from Ruth. Now there's a rude word here, and you will never hear me swearing. And I'm sure it should be snog, marry, avoid anyway, not the other word. But snog, marry and avoid, out of your principal characters of Kat, Freya and Andy, go on, what would you do to who? I would avoid Kat. She was a faffer. She should just have got Freya and stopped all the toing and froing, and someone should have told the author, maybe. But I'd avoid her. I'd marry Freya. That would keep it exciting. Andy's not my type. No action, sorry. I'm a real letdown, aren't I? Angela wants you alone on a deserted island for some reason. She says, you're on a deserted island. What 3 things do you bring with you, not including your kids? Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely to be on a deserted island? I wouldn't take any tools or equipment to get me off. I'd take a deck chair and a bottle of wine and some music, I think, and I'd have a good old time, a good old relax. I like that question. Lovely indie author Sid Parker wants to know, what's more challenging, being a mum or writing? Being a mum, being a stay-at-home mum is the hardest job in the world. It's hard. I used to be a secondary school PE teacher, and a class of 32 16-year-old girls who didn't want to get their hair wet on a soggy day playing hockey. That was a challenge, but being a stay-at-home mum is harder. But it's the best job in the world. Hats off to all the people with children out there. Speaking of Sid, this question also arrived in the UK Lesfics inbox, and please note UK Lesfic won't stand for any rubbish answers to this one, like talking about writing or anything along those lines. Sid, sorry anonymous, asks, everyone knows you have a crush on fellow Lesfic author Sid Parker, even if she's a bit short. What would happen if they locked the 2 of you in a room for one day? Well, Sid's 5'1", I think. I think Sid Parker's 5'1". I'm 5'11". So yeah, if we're in a room, 5'1", 5'11", I think she'll be tickling my knees, wouldn't she? I'll be at the window shouting for what's Sylvester Stallone's ex-wife, Bridget Nielsen. She's my type. I'll be shouting for Bridget to come and save me. No, sorry, Sid. I think she's slightly taller than that. Next one's from Danny, who UK Lesfic strongly suspects is a librarian. Any ideas for the next book? Maybe a mystery with a naughty detective with a yen for librarians. All kinds of interesting stuff happens in the stacks. I go to the library every Thursday with my 4-year-old for rhyme time. And the most exciting thing is when one of the mums breastfeeds. But yeah, good idea, Danny. I could do. Maybe. UK Lesfic likes this random question, where does your mind go when it wanders, onto my new book. I'm quite excited about my new book, but it's top secret, but it's about love and fate and skiing and maybe a bit of schools as well. This may be a bit awkward in itself, but Alice wants to know, are writing sex scenes the most awkward moment of writing? She also wants to tell us the process. No, it's not awkward. I quite like it. I pull myself close into my computer and start tapping away. The same as writing any other scene. I don't go and put my lingerie on and sit like that. No, just I like. It's good. It's fine. I'm blushing. Okay, now the really cheeky ones. Mags asks, the temptation to be really naughty is overwhelming, particularly having just reread Binding Devotion. So here goes. As a former teacher, what do you look back on as your most sackable misdemeanours? Clearly extra points for references to chopping the veg. What a letdown. I was a really strict teacher. I was a very serious strict teacher. Sackable offences, maybe my dance classes. Being a PE teacher, I had to teach all the sports, and teaching dance to 15-year-old girls who are cool, who know what they're doing, and I'm there with my little idea, come on girls, we're going to do this dance today, and they're like, no miss, no, you need to double time that, you need to move those hips. So yeah, crimes against dance, possibly. Right, we've got some quick fire ones now. From Ruth, Alice, Katie, Rebecca and Sid. What's the most rebellious thing you've ever done? I had my belly button pierced at 17, and that's probably it. I'm sorry. How sad. What's your favourite ice cream flavour? Mint chocolate chip. What was the best holiday of your life? Valley of the Kings in Egypt was mind-blowing. Favourite lesbian author? Okay, I have to put this down. Claire Ashton. Wow. Now, she is a real writer. Her books After Mrs. Hamilton and Penance. I think my books are a bottle of wine, packet of crisps on the weekend, have a smile kind of books. Claire Ashton writes books that stay with you for a lifetime, and she really is wonderful. And I think if Claire and I were writing about Cat Spicer, she has to go on her bike into town. In my book, Cat would straddle the saddle, pedal, and she's there. In Claire's book, Cat would ride that bike into town. You know, there'd be atmosphere, there would be weather, you would feel it, you would taste it, you would touch it. No, Claire Ashton is amazing. Sid Parker's books are great. Susie Carr, Trin Denise, Carrie Hunter, lots. There are some really good, proper lesbian fiction writers out there. Being famous, biggest pro, biggest con. P.S. Don't let her argue she's not famous. She is. I'm sat in my kitchen talking to my webcam. I'm not famous. If you could be one fictional character, who would it be? I love Patricia Cornwell's Scarpetta books. I would be Lucy, the lesbian. If you could share a byline with any author, who would you choose? I'm not sure anyone would have me. No. What is something you've always wanted to do in life that you haven't done yet? Skydive. What's your natural hair colour? What are you trying to say? You're looking at my eyebrows. I think I might be slightly brown. What's your favourite song? I like lots. Pink, Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran, anything you can sing to. If you could have one superpower for just one day, what would it be and what would you do with it? I would time travel. That's a good book, Time Traveller's Wife. I would time travel. I like conspiracy theories and things. I'd want the answers to everything. Now, here we go. This is the question I saw. Finally, UK Lesfics favourite question. I'll get you back one day. It's from Sonia. Pippa loved power ballads. Lucy loved power ballads. I read in one of your interviews that you love power ballads. Can you sing us a power ballad, please? Can I sing? No, not at all. No, I can't. Do I sing? Oh my goodness, all the time. Will I sing you a power ballad? I never say no to a challenge, so I have prepared on my laptop. Here we go. This is from Binding Devotion, where Pippa stands up and just starts bursting into song like I'm about to do. I apologise now, turn the volume down. This will be horrific, but hey, let's do this. Come on. Listen, I am alone at a crossroads. I'm not at home in my own home, and I've tried to say what's on my mind. You should have known. Oh, now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. So there we go. I apologise wholeheartedly for that. I apologise wholeheartely. Yeah, so I never say no to a challenge. I do apologise. Okay, that's the end of the questions. There'll be some really good questions there. Thank you for everybody who wrote in with a question. Yeah, and thank you to everybody who has bought my books or read my books and enjoyed them. And to those that haven't, I can only apologise. There are some other wonderful authors out there. Don't be put off by me, please. I'm at Elfest in July. If you want to come and hear me reading, I may have to swear because I may be reading the Cat and Freya Kitchenstein from Instigations. Yeah, so that's it. Please forgive that horrificness. And yeah, thank you for your questions. Okay, bye.